Alright, good day everyone. My name is Anuboy. Welcome to another session of Anuboy tutorial. Actually, this is going to be the first tutorial video we are going to be uploading on YouTube. And for today's lesson, we are going to be solving some questions under mathematics and under the topic simple and compound interest. As we already have the formula on the screen, for simple interest, this is the formula. For compound interest, if compounded annually, this is the formula we are going to use. And if it is compounded monthly, quarterly, or semi-annually, this is the formula we are going to use. So let me quickly differentiate between these two. Actually, under compound interest, we have three formulas. And that's where students sometimes get it confused. If the question says it is compounded annually, that is, the question did not tell us specifically that it is compounded monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, weekly, daily, or anything. That is, the question just gave us that find the compound interest on so amount, the principal and the interest for 2 years. They didn't tell us if compounded monthly or quarterly. So that means they are telling us to find for the 2 years, that is annually. So they are not telling us to find per month. They are not solving the compound interest per month or quarterly, which is 4 times in a year, and semi-annual, which is 2 times in a year. Alright, so if it is annually, we are going to use this formula, and if it is compounded monthly, quarterly, and semi-annual, we are going to use this formula. And if it is the third one, which is if compounded continuously, we are going to be making use of exponential. But then we are not going to be doing that in this video due to the duration I'm trying to work with this video. Alright, so we are going to start with simple interest, and we are going to start with an example. So I'm going to post the example on the screen so we can see it and also follow with the calculation. We say that find the value to which 3,000 naira will amount in 5 years at a rate of 6% per annum simple interest. So our principal, which is the P, the amount invested. So that's our principal. That is 3,000 naira. Now for rate R, rate is the interest that we are going to, the interest on the amount invested. The interest on the amount invested. That is the amount we are going to be getting from what we invest, either with the investor or with a bank. Anyway, so the rate is 6%. The rate is 6%, and the time. Usually the time means yes. It means yes. So and we say that we are looking at 5 years. 5 years. So this is a question. So we have to find the simple interest on 3,000 if invested at the rate of 6% in 5 years. So we are going to apply the same formula as it is written here. So what is our P? Our P is 3,000 there. What is our R? Don't forget, percentage is expressed over 100. That is 6 over 100. So the 100 that you see here is already, it is this 100. It is this percentage. So you understand? So we are not going to add 6 over 100 again. We are only going to write 6 times the year, which is 5 over 100. Alright. So if that is the case, we are now going to say 3,000 times 6 times 5. So to make our work easy, we cancel the zeros. So we have 30 and we have 6 times 5, which is 30. So that is 30 times 30 will give us what? Will give us 900 naira. Now our simple interest is 900 naira. Our simple interest is 900 naira. That's our simple interest. Now, but if you look at the question, we are not asked to find the simple interest. We are asked to find the amount that we are going to get if we invest 3,000 naira. If 3,000 is invested, what is the amount? That is, we are going to say amount equals to principal plus simple interest. That is, the interest that we gain plus the amount we invested should give us the total amount we are going to have, maybe in our bank account. If it is in our bank, when we open a savings account and we are investing 3,000, and they're telling us that if we are investing 3,000 or depositing 3,000 in our bank account, that at the end of every year we are going to earn 900 naira. So what will be the amount in 5 years? So that means we are going to add the principal, the amount we invested, and the amount we gain through the interest given to us by the bank. So that is why we now say amount equals to, what is our principal? Our principal is 3,000 naira plus 900 naira. So our amount will give us what? 39. So this is the final answer to that question. Find the value to reach 3,000 naira. We amount in 5 years at 6% per annum simple interest. So quickly, because of our time, we are going to solve another question under the compound interest. Now I've told you one of the major difference between simple interest and compound interest is that for simple interest, the principal, the amount invested remains the same throughout the investment period. That is, for the whole 5 years that we calculated here, the amount invested, the amount calculated for the interest still remain as 3,000, and it doesn't change for the whole 5 years. But for compound interest, why it is called compound interest is because we are taking the principal and the interest together for the following year or duration of investment. Now, if you say that we are actually using compound interest for this, which means for the first year, the amount we invested is 3,000 naira. So, and we are going to earn 900 naira on 3,000 for the first year. Now, if we are using compound interest, the amount, our principal for the next year, for the second year, is not going to be 3,000 naira again. It's going to be 3,900 naira. That is for compound. That is, we are going to add the 900 plus the 3,000. So that's the amount is going to be in our bank account, and the interest, which is the 6%, is going to be what? Is going to be used on that 39 instead of 3,000. So that means for the third year again, we are going to add the interest, the amount earned by interest, to the principal again, which is 3,900, until we get to 5 years. But now, for the sake of simplicity, so that we are not going to work all the papers out, that's why we are given this formula. That is, if we follow this formula, we don't need to be doing first year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year. So we are just going to calculate using this formula, and it is as simple as that. Now the A remains the same. A means amount, but this is the formula for compound interest, which is CI. Compound interest equals to amount minus principal. That is the formula. That is the amount, the total amount generated plus the interest plus the principal minus the principal should give us the amount we gain with the interest. That is called compound interest. Now compound interest equals to A minus P. Now in any question that you are given, you are going to be given P, interest, the year. So firstly, we calculate the amount, so that you are just going to subtract the principal from the amount to get the compound interest. Sure, you understand? So our amount, the formula for the amount is now P into brackets 1 plus I. That I means interest. It means interest. Just the R here, it is now I. It is represented as I in compound interest. Or close your brackets, raise to power T, which is our T here. Yes. Alright, so let us solve the question. Now note, this formula will be used only if in the question they do not specific, they did not tell you, or they didn't mention that it should be compounded monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, daily, weekly, or anything. If it is just yearly, they did not tell you monthly, they didn't tell you quarterly, but they gave you years. That is in 5 years, in 2 years, in 20 years. So that means all you need to do is to use this formula. But if otherwise, you use this formula. Alright, so let us solve the question. An example. Find the compound interest on 225 naira invested for 20 years at 4% per annum. Find the compound interest on 225 naira invested for 20 years at 4% per annum. So what is our principal in that question? Our principal is equals to 225. What is our I? Interest. Our interest is equal to 4%, which is 0.04. Don't forget that what we mean by 0.04 is 4 over 100. That is our percentage. So it is, now when you are doing it is better you represent it, you write it in decimals like this instead of fraction, so that you will be able to calculate it faster. Alright, so and our T, we say 20 years. So using that formula, all we are just going to do is what? Input these values inside the formula. Our A equals to 1 plus, what is I? I equals to 0.04 raised to power 20. So sorry, we have P. Don't forget we have P. So I omitted that, so I'm going to rewrite this. Alright, so P equals to 225. So A equals to P. So our P is 225 into bracket 1 plus 0.04 raised to power 20, which is our year. So if that is the case, so what we are going to do now is just that we are going to first of all solve the problem inside the formula, inside the bracket. So we are going to say 225, 1 plus 0.04 will give us 1.04 all raised to power 20. So if you calculate this using your calculator, that is, first of all do this 1.04, put into bracket 1.04 raised to power 20, and use the whatever you get, multiply it with 225. You are going to get A equals to 493 naira. Now this is our amount. 493 naira is our amount. 493 naira is not our compound interest. It is our amount, the total amount we are going to derive. That is that means this is talking about the principal plus the compound interest. Now, using this formula, what we have to find in that question is that we should find the compound interest, not the amount. So since we've been able to get the amount and we know the principal, so what will be our compound interest? Our compound interest equals to A minus P equals to, what is our A? 493 naira minus P. What is P? Our P is 225. So that will give us alright, so that will give us 268 naira. So this is our compound interest. This is the amount we're able to generate. We end on by investing 225 naira at the rate of 0.04, at the rate of 4% in 20 years. So we are going to do the last one, which is for this, if compounded monthly, quarterly, or semi-annually. Alright, so now for question under this, for us to use this formula, the question must tell us that we should find the compound interest by saying compounded monthly, quarterly, or semi-annually. So let us test this formula by using this example. Anybody invested 20,000 naira in a saving account at 10% annual interest, compounded monthly. At this rate, what will be the amount in the saving accounts in 4 years? So what will be the amount? What we have to find in this question is the amount. That is, what will be the total amount in the account, in the saving account, after or in 4 years. That is, anybody is investing 20,000 at the rate of 10%, and it is investing that amount for 4 years. So using this formula, as you can see in that question, we have to find the amount that is compounded monthly. So there's this keyword compounded monthly in that question. So that means we are going to be using this formula, and that's why we are not using this formula. Should you understand? All right. So our principal in that question is how much? Our principal is 20,000 naira. What is our interest, which is I? It is 10%, and 10% we say we should write it in decimal so that we are not going to make mistake. So if that is the case, we are going to write months. Our months. How many months do we have in a year? We have 12 months. And so what is our T? Our T equals to, the T year equals to how many years? 4 years. 4 years. So this is what we are expected to do. This is what we're expected to do. Alright, so we are going to input that into the formula. So our formula is A equals to P. What is our P? P is 20,000 naira. What is, then we have 1 plus I. What is our I? Our I is 0.10 over M. And our M is 12 months. And yes, we have MT. That is, what is months? 12 times 4. 12 times 4, most times the year. So if that's what we have, so we continue. We say that A equals to 20,000 into bracket. Now, first of all, let us do 0.10 divided by 12. That will give us 1 plus 0.0083. And 12 times 4 will give us 48. So 12 times 4 will give us 48. So we will continue with that A equals to 20,000 into bracket. When we add this together, we have 1.0083 raised to power 48. So if that is the case, we do the same thing we usually do. We can put this in our calculator raised to power 48. We are going to have A equals to 20,000 into bracket 1.4870. So that's what we're going to have when you input this in the calculator. Alright, so 20,000 times this, what is it going to give us? So press that in your calculator. We should have A equals to 29,740 as our final answer. So if you look at the question, what we have to find is we have to find the amount. They tell us that at this rate, what will be the amount in the savings account in 4 years? So in 4 years, this is the amount we are going to be having in the saving account, considering that we've already added the principal and the interest earned for each year for 4 years. So we now have 29,740 in the account, and the principal, the amount we invested is 20,000 naira. So the amount we gave should be 9,740 naira. That's our compound interest, but that's not what we are asked to find. What we are asked to find is the amount, and that's what we did. So this is going to be the end of the video. Really appreciate if you can click the like button and subscribe to this channel, as that will keep us motivated to share and do more video and upload it here. Thank you for watching, and I hope you guys learn 1 or 2 things in this video. Thank you. My name remains Anibal.